The following is a special presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good evening, my name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for the 29th day of May 2022. That we're going to do something tonight that has never happened on this channel before. I'm going to entertain you. No, I think you've been entertained before. We are actually going to be able to replay an event that happened today, the 29th of May, 2022. Thanks to Terry Lambourne's Motorsport, we are able to replay the 2022 Indianapolis 500 on the same day. Yep, I've just loaded up the sheet. We'll go through some of the game things. We'll do some sort of, old-fashioned Jim McKay, Sunday night ABC's Wide World of Sports presentation of the Indianapolis 500. Probably do some live rolling or rolling of the last segment or whatever. But people have wanted to see the game, and so we can. We can replay the 2022 Indianapolis 500, which was great to see all those people there today. I didn't really care about the concert. I just wanted to watch the race. So, without further ado, let's go through the drivers, and then we'll go through some of the game mechanics, shall we? So, all you need to do to play the game is know where a driver started and where a driver finished. And so, we can't get all 33 drivers on the screen at the same time, but if you'll forgive me, we'll read through what their pole positions were and then just go from there. First row, first three drivers, Scott Dixon, who is this generation's Mario Andretti Indianapolis. He's only won it once, just like Mario, but today became the all-time leading driver for most laps led in the history of the great race. But again, a mistake did him in. He finished 21st. Alex Palou got caught entering the pits when the pit was closed during an accident and was running out of gas. He couldn't get back in there, didn't have enough to go around. So he started second and finished ninth. He did have a very good run towards the end. Rinus VK was the first car to crash out. His tires let go. He was on the front row. He started third. He finished dead last and 33rd. Dixon, by the way, got caught speeding in the pits going into his last pit stop. He had to do a drive-through penalty, got off the lead lap, caught back up to the lead lap, but could only finish 23rd. Ed Carpenter starts the second row. He finished 19th. Marcus Ericsson, the middle of row 2, won the race, and boy, what a fantastic restart after the red flag. Basically a 5-mile sprint, and Marcus did his best to hold on, and he did. Tony Kanaan finishes row 2. He finished third, in fact, probably the fastest car towards the end, but didn't get the world's best restart while Ericsson did. But still, it's a third-place finish for the old man. Pato O'Ward almost became the first Mexican to win the Indianapolis 500. He's on the outside of row 3 in the 7th position. He finished second. Ericsson's restart was so good, and Ericsson just did his best to cut off the draft. O'Ward couldn't get past him. Felix Rosenqvist, the number 8 car, so in the middle of row 3, he finished 4th. Romain Grosjean from France, the outside of row 3, starting 9th. His car kind of snapped through turn 2 in the wind when the tires were getting old, and so he crashed out and finished 31st. Takuma Sato starts row 4, along with Will Power and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was doing great. He actually led a lap of the 500, being one of the handful of drivers ever to lead a lap at both Daytona and the NASCAR and the Indy 500. But Johnson's crash to finish 28th brought out the red flag, with just 4 laps to go. Will Power, one of the greatest names ever for a car driver, has raced at Indy forever, a good finish of 15th. David Malakis starts row 5 on the outside. He is a rookie. Joseph Newgarden, an IndyCar vet, in the middle of row 5 and 14th. And Woodbury, Connecticut, Santino Ferrucci outside on row 5. He finished 10th. A good rookie performance for him. Simone Pagenaud starts row 6. J.R. Hildenbrand, that was the A.J. Foyt driver, in the middle of row 6. And Connor Daly, big crowd favorite in Indianapolis. He ended up finishing 6th. In fact, led a few races, and boy, the crowd just loved his aggressiveness. Pagano finished 8th, and Hildebrand finished 12th. Outside of row 7, Callum Allott, Alexander Rossi in the middle with a 5th place finish, and Graham Rahal, the Rahal Letterman entry, and the inside of row 7, he finished 14th. Bobby's son, of course. Row 8, Sage Karam on the outside, Marco Andretti, of course, the latest generation of Andretti drivers to try to conquer Indy, and DeFrancesco finishing 23rd, 22nd, and 20th, respectively. Colton Herta is on the outside of row 9. His dad drove at Indianapolis for a long time. Again, a victim of tires going into turn 2, a 30th place finish overall. Scott McLaughlin, 29th place finish, and last year's champion Helio Castroneves on the outside of row 9. Hung around. Good pit strategy, a 7th place finish for the defending champion. It would help if I knew that last one. Oh no. Row 10, Kyle Kirkwood, Dalton Kellett, who I believe is a rookie, and Juan Pablo Montoya, who finished 11th after a 30th place start. Sometimes, veteran experience works. Kirkwood finished 17th. Kellett did finish the race in 27th. He was the last car to finish. On the last row, Christian Lundgaard, Jack Harvey, and Stefan Wilson, who finished 18th, 24th, and 26th. Now, we start on the T1 column. It's a 6-turn race, but everyone needs a starting position. They're all going to pretty much start the same, but first, we need to see where or how many cars are going to be involved in the pre-race start. So there's an oval chart, which I won't show you. So you're going to pay attention to the 2 on the ball roller here, the 2 white die. They are going to be 2d6. We add them together. If it's a weather alert, which is on a 2, I'm going to ignore it because the race was done in absolutely beautiful conditions today. So how many drivers are going to be involved here? I roll a 4, so it's 5 drivers. 5 drivers. And so on ovals. Okay, so now pay attention to those 2 blue die. For every 33, 66, and 99, it'll determine what the number is. So if you look over on my spreadsheet, column E is where everyone has a random number, and I just take where they start. And that will be their car number throughout the race for specific events. So we're going to roll it 5 times to see who has incidents, okay? So the first roll will be driver number 18. Connor Daly. And he rolls a 2-6. Very good setup. So he gets a +2. Everyone should start with 100. It's helpful but he's going to go to 102. So he gets a fresh start on the field. Car number 19. Callum Allott rolls a 1-3. He gets a great start. Considering that he didn't finish very well, he crashed out. He gets a great jump off the line, and he jumps to 104. Driver number 3, car number 11. You know what? I messed that up. No, there is no base 1. So car number 11. So Will Power rolls a 2-4, and his car is loose. So he's going to drop to 98. It'll make sense in a minute here. So Will Power does not get a great start. Next driver, 76, car number 16, Simon Pagenaud. Rolls a 1-1. Oh! He hit Santonio Ferrucci in front of him. Recovered well, but lost momentum. Oh, dear. So he's going to drop 3 spots. And the last driver, 48. So 15. Wow. Is Ferrucci. So all the action coming from the middle of the pack. A 2-2. He got in an accident, and he'll drop 3 spots. So you see the 100 that's going in the Scott Dixon spot. The rest of the drivers will start with 100. We'll sort, and so the higher the number, the better put the position. The lower the number, the worse the position. And so we'll tell you all about that right after this. Okay, so we sorted. So everyone should start on point space 100. But the great jump by Callum Illett and Connor Daly, as we start the race, has them 2 up already. Now, it's a 6-turn race. Everyone goes 6 turns as long there. So if you look at column G, it says first, H second, I third. So the first 2 turns of the race now, you'll read from the first column. And that's how many points they get, not adjusted. Now, if you look at the ball roller, see where that green 2 is? Well, that determines how a driver is going to do in a particular, on a turn. If that driver rolls a 1, 2, or 3, it's a D6, then we take the point result number in that column. So in the first 2 turns, I read from the first. The middle 2 turns, I read from the second. And the last 2 turns, I read from the third. It means a great finish. So look for Marcus Ericsson later in the race. Felix Rosenquist, and of course Helio Castroneves with a great finish. But the point is trying to get, let's say, Helio up from 27th where he starts all the way up to 7th place. Okay, so that's that. Now, if I roll a 4, then I'll have a chart, which I can't show you, that mimics a pit stop. Because remember, oval races are very heavily dependent on pit stop strategy. So, and then you read the 2 white die and then the result, and you go from there. The blue die, again, you can't do a 33-sided die in ball roller. So it's a 1 to 33, 34 to 66, 67 to 99 determines which number car is for that activity. Now, just as a house rule, because there's 33 drivers, if I get 3 duplicates of any number, if they've already gone, then the turn is over and everyone else gets their assigned points for the turn. Okay? So a 4 is a pit stop. If I roll a 5 with a green, I know this isn't making a lot of sense. That's a bad thing to happen. They could lose permanent spaces or crash or whatever. So a 5 you don't want to see. A 6 is a good thing. They've got something figured out, and they're going to get above and beyond what their grade is. So with all that in mind, let me do so that's not going to help me there. So with all that in mind, I now have it on my charts. We'll roll the first roll of the race. So it's 97, so it's car number 32. So it's Jack Harvey. Harvey rolls a green 2, so he doesn't have any specialty readings. So I just read from his chart. So everyone starts at 100, so he goes to square number. His number is a 7. That's how many spaces he rolls. do it again. 85, 67, and 85 is car number 19, which is the leader, Callum Islet. He rolls, on the 4 chart. Uh-oh. So he rolled a 1-2 on a very good pit stop. So he's not. So he would get 6, and then a very quick pit stop gives him 2 more. So he's going to get 8. So he'll get to 112. I rolled again 86, which is car. Well, that's that's a repeat. So that's 1 repeat already, and I get 3. Car number 10 is going to be Sato, and he's rolling off the 5 chart. So a 2-2 on the 5. Oh, retire. Now, if the car involved is listed as a finisher, and Sato finished 25th, so he did finish, I roll 1d6. So we're going to watch that green one there. If it's odd, then he's out. And if he's even, he's safe. He rolls a 1, so Sato is the first car out. Now, I can check to see why he retired. So Sato had engine troubles, and he's out. So he'll get 0. So I roll again, 91. So it's 8 from there. So 33 minus 8 is 25. Colton Herta, and that's just a regular roll. So he gets his 7 points. I'll do 1 more of these rolls on camera, and then I'll finish out the stage and be back. It'll be car number 1. So Scott Dixon, he rolled a 3, so he gets the result of the roll of his column and not anything special. So hopefully that makes sense. And so now I will finish the round offline and tell you, we'll just come back at that point and just show you what's going on. So the first segment of the race is done. The rookie Callum Elliott and Connor Daly had the crowd all excited. They have a 1-spot lead over Marcus Ericsson and Alexander Rossi, who are off to great starts themselves. And then Tony Kanaan, Pato O'Ward, Elio Castroneves, then Juan Pablo Montoya, Alex Palou, Joseph Newgarden, J.R. Hellenbrand, Graham Rahal, DeFrancesco, Carl Kirkwood, Christian Lundgaard. And that is the first part of the field. We'll update you when segment 2 is done. And go from there. You saw the only crash was Sato. He is the only one out of the race. So 1 of the 6 segments done, and 32 of the 33 cars are still in the Indianapolis 500. Well, Connor Daly and Marcus Ericsson and Alexander Rossi are at the front of the field about a third of the way through this 2022 Indianapolis 500. Pato O'Ward just 1 spot back. Then Tony Kanaan and Helio Castroneves. Callum Elliott, kind of his luck starting to run out, still having a good running. Remember, he crashed out and finished 32nd the real race. Juan Pablo Montoya is tied with Illa at the moment. Then Rosenquist, Pagano, Palou, Hildebrand, Ray Hall, and so that's pretty much the top 12. Santino Ferrucci, by the way, figured something out in his pit stop, and he's going to get a +1 the rest of the race. So he might actually get a top 10 finish in this Indy 500. And poor Rinus VK did not have something go well in the pit. He is downgraded one the rest of the race. And so after this stage, we'll be halfway through and we'll update you at that point. Well, we didn't get too far into starting the halfway mark of the race before poor Jimmy Johnson found a vibration on a pit stop. He's had to come in his first Indy 500. It is not going well. He gets downgraded. So downgraded, and should at this point, well, is either going to be, if he finishes the race, one of the last ones to actually finish it. So poor Jimmy Johnson, a vibration along with Rinus VK, and their cars just aren't feeling it today at Indianapolis. We'll be back in a moment. Halfway through the Indianapolis 500, Marcus Ericsson has taken the lead with Connor Daly right on his tail, along with Alexander Rossi, Pato O'Ward. Then it's Tony Kanaan, Helio Castroneves. Then there's some spaces back to Montoya, Rosenquist, and Pagano. Illett having an okay pit stop. Graham Rahal hanging in there, along with Christian Lundgaard. Then it's Palou, Hildebrand, Di Francesco, Kirkwood. Ferrucci, who had a great early pit stop, his engine is overheating, and so he won't be as fast the rest of the way. No changes as far as anything else is concerned. We talked about Jimmy Johnson and the troubles with his car. So one more segment in the middle part of the race. And so we're halfway home, 100 laps in, and Marcus Ericsson barely holding on to a lead over Connor Daly, Alexander Rossi, and Pato O'Ward with Kanaan and Castroneves right on his tail. And another retirement here, Stefan Wilson. His fuel system has failed. He did not crash, but this is not his day. He finished 26th in the real race. He'll finish 32nd in the replay. He started 33rd and will finish 32nd. The second car to be retired in this year's 2022 Indianapolis 500 replay. More as developments warrant. And more breaking news. Real-life winner Marcus Ericsson has run into a problem. He won't be retired, but he's going to get downgraded 2 spots as far as points the rest of the race. Now, why? He's a 9 and 10 now in the last 2 segments. Now, you're seeing my screen here because I can't show you the charts. Now I can put that back up. It is a setup with a handling. The steering is just not that good. They're not going to have a chance to figure it out right now. Now, he could get a good roll and fix that, but the real-life 2022 winner is in deep trouble as he's down 2 now the rest of the race. So instead of being a 12 in those last 2 segments to come up, he's only has a 10. So let's see what he can do. He's going to fight the car the rest of the way. It was a windy day today in Indianapolis, and he's just kind of fighting the car. A little bit of understeering with the wind. So Marcus Ericsson in trouble here at Indy. Back with more in a moment. 2 more retirees. Callum Illett. His suspension broke, and Stefan Wilson had a fuel injection trouble, so they will finish 32nd and 31st. So for Illett, he actually improved 1 position. Wilson and Sato, of course, are out. So only 30 cars running in the last third of the Indianapolis 500. as we show you that Pato O'Ward is the leader through 4 segments. Then Marcus Ericsson, who's now handling the rest of the race. He is with Connor Daly, Alexander Rossi, and Tony Kanaan in the next group. And then Helio Castroneves is one back of that. And then that's pretty much the rest of the race. 6 drivers really have a chance. Then Rosenqvist, Montoya, Pagenaud, Rahal, Lundgaard, Newgarden, Palou, Hildebrand, DeFrancesco, and once you get to 15 back, so the 127s lower or a lap down, Marco Andretti, Scott McLaughlin, Jack Harvey, Colton Herta, Scott Dixon, Romain Grosjean, Jimmy Johnson, and Renus VK are all a lap down as we head into the next to the last segment of the race. We will give you the last 10. What we'll do for the last 10 drivers in that is we'll roll them live, we'll ignore that, and see what happens, because you can also run out of fuel. But right now, I'm going to run segment 5. If anything requires your attention, we'll tell you about it. If not, we'll show you the standings after the 5th segment. Okay, we're back live for the last 10 rolls of the race. So these are the top 10. We will ignore the blue die for these. Now, a roll of 1, 2, or 3 in the green is what they necessarily want. Well, let's first tell you what's going on. Pato O'Ward had a great pit stop. He got a bonus point. He has a 2-point lead over Connor Daly, Alexander Rossi, Tony Kanaan, and Helio Castroneves. That's the race for second place. Marcus Ericsson, remember, he's battling his handling. He still has a chance. He's 3 points out, though. And then Felix Rosenqvist, Simon Pagenaud, Juan Pablo Montoya. I keep trying to make Montoya French. He's really Spanish or Brazilian, or Montoya, and then Graham Rahal. So the top 10. So these are the only real chances for someone to win. We could have a crash. Okay. So having explained all that, the green die, a 1, 2, or 3, you get your regular roll. So in Rahal's case, that would be 9 points. If he rolls a 4 in the last segment, he is running out of gas. They're trying to get these cars through. They've done 5 pit stops. They're trying to get as much as they can out of the fuel. So it's possible that one of these drivers could make a boo-boo in the last segment. See what happened to Scott Dixon today. And throw them out of the race. But we're only going to do the drivers that I think live, or at least on the stream, that have a chance to win. Rahal would need an absolute miracle. Let's see how much he's 12 back. He's going to get 9 points on a regular roll. Ignore the blue die. He gets a regular roll, so he gets 9. So he finishes on 152. Pagenaud in 9th place. He finished 8th in the real race. He's on 145 now. He'll get 9 on a regular roll. He will, no, he goes to the pit page. That's not good. 4, 5. And we go. So a 4, 5 is, oh, goodness gracious, he's out. He's out. He hit the wall and will retire. I'm not going to, if that's the first crash of the day. So goodness gracious, Juan Pablo Montoya hits the wall. He wasn't with anyone, so we'll roll for a multi-car accident. So a late race crash knocks out Juan Pablo Montoya. So he'll finish in the back of the field. So he turned a 9th place finish into, the first crash comes at the end of the race. Now, let's roll for Pagenaud. He's at 146. He can get a max of 9 on a regular roll here, which would put him up to 155. Pagenaud gets a regular roll. We'll roll for extras depending on how these go. Rosenqvist, He can get a max of 12 here with the regular roll, so he can be 161. He's in good shape. He's currently in 8th. He finished 4th. Does he make a move? Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. We go to the gas chart. The out of fuel chart says, out of fuel in view of the finish line. Car coast across the line. So he got as much out of it as he could. He's only going to get 11 for one. Oh. Rosenquist pushed it right to the limit and just didn't hurt. He ran out of fuel, but will finish the race and might even get a top 5 out of it. Now, Marcus Ericsson, I'm not sure he can win. The best he can do is 162 unless he gets a lot of help. He needs that roll to be a 6. That green die needs to be a 6. It is. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. That is not good. That is the pit chart. And he had a cylinder go bad. He's going to lose 3. So the real life champion, not so lucky. He'll get a good result out of it, but he's not drinking the milk in this one. All right, Castor Neves, last year's winner at 153. He can finish with 165. These 5 drivers can win the race. So Castor Neves, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Oh, goodness gracious, he's going to get a boost. He's going to get a boost. Helio. Spidey gets 1 more. He's got 1 bonus. He's going to finish at 166. Will it be enough? Will it be enough? Tony Kanaan, he only gets 11 points here. Castor Neves has taken advantage of a great restart. Can he win it? Now, Kanaan, the best he can do on a regular roll is 164. Kanaan. Oh, no. You go to the pit chart. Oh. 35. Oh, he's going to lose 2. Oh, Kanaan had something happen. Oh. Kanaan lost the handling in his car. I won't change it there, but he's only going to get 9 for... All right, Rossi is at 153. He can finish with 164. Is Helio going to win back-to-back Indy 500s? Rossi. He's going to get a boost. He's going to get a boost. 2-4. $2-4 for Rossi. Got a 1-point boost. He's going to get 12. 165. Castor Neves still in lead. Ooh. Two laps left. Daly. He can finish on 164 unless he gets some help. Connor Daly, the crowd favorite. Oh, he's on the... He might have burned the candle a little too much on both ends. Daly is low on fuel. Oh, with 2 laps left, he finally finished, but he's only going to get 4. So he's going to finish on the lead lap, but it won't be him. So 51. So the last lap, it's Castor Neves. Can O'Ward catch him? O'Ward can tie, and then we'd have to go to a roll-off. If O'Ward rolls a 1, 2, or 3, we'll go to a roll-off to see who wins the Indy 500. If it's a 5, then a 4 or 5, can he... Yeah, a 4 or 5 on that green die, and Castor Neves has won back-to-back Indy 500s. If it's a 6 on that green die, then O'Ward will win the Indy 500. Who's it going to be? Last lap. It's going to be a roll-off because they are tied. My goodness gracious. 1, 6, 6. So there you go, the top 10. Is it O'Ward or Castor Neves? We're going to take a look now. We're going to roll the blue die. The higher number of the two blue die together will win the race. Rossi's going to finish 3rd. Condon going to finish 4th. Rosenqvist will finish 5th. Ericsson did all he could with a bad car towards the end. He'll finish 6th. Daly ran out of gas at the end. That hurt Pagano. And then Ray Hall in 9th. Montoya will flip back and we'll do the rest of the field and come back. But who's going to win? Who's going to win? O'Ward. 1, 6, 6, 1, 7, 7. Castor Neves is going to win it. It's going to win it by 0.05 of a second. Climb the wall. Hey, Spider-Man, you have just won another Indianapolis 500. How about that? He won it by 0.05 of a second at the line. My goodness gracious. We'll give you all the stats and stories and finish this up right after this. But what a finish. Helio Castor Neves has won the Indianapolis 500 in a roll-off. Wow. So, Helio Castor Neves wins by 0.05 of a second over Pedro O'Ward, who finished 2nd in real life. Castor Neves, he tried the fuel mileage strategy. He finished in 7th. He just made that last pit stop too early. But kind of like last year when he did it right, he just couldn't do it. Alexander Rossi finishes 3rd at 165. Tony Kanaan, who finished 3rd, finished in 5th in this one. Felix Rosenqvist finished 6th. Marcus Ericsson, the real-life winner, 7th. Connor Daly, 8th. Simon Pagano, 9th. Graham Rahal finished 14th in the real race. A tie for 10th with Rahal, Palou, and Hildebrand. And we'll resolve that the same way we resolved Castor Neves and O'Ward. So Rahal, Palou rolls a 57. And Hildebrand a 67. So it'll be Rahal, Hildebrand, and Palou all around the top 10. Then Kirkwood. Now we're getting into the lap traffic. DeFrancesco, Ferrucci, who gave it a pretty good run, but he ran into handling trouble. Lundgaard, Newgarden, Will Power, Jack Harvey, Scott McLaughlin, Ed McCarpenter, Marco Andretti, Dalton Kellett, Colton Herta, Sage Karam, David Malukas, the rookie, Scott Dixon. He really had the best car all day in the real race, but because he got the drive-through penalty, breaking the speed limit in pit road, It's just, he finished fourth from the bottom. It just was not a great race. Grosjean in his first run at Indianapolis, he'll take it. He finished the run at double points. VK got some luck at the end, and Jimmy Johnson finished the race, but he was the last car standing. I did not do this game justice, I don't think. It is a Motorsport, though, by Lambourne Games is very exciting. And the fact that we could bring you a replay of a race the same day it actually happened is quite cool. And the fact that we had to go to a bonus roll to resolve it, and we had a repeat winner of the Indy 500 in Castor Neves. But really, as with a lot of card and dice games, the best way to get a good sense of it is to buy it and play it yourself. This one is about $45, $50. It's on PDF. You will get your shipping reimbursed because I think they charge for it anyway, so don't panic if you buy it and it's $92 after the conversion rate from pounds to dollars. You will get your shipping back, and you can run any race in any year in pretty much any circuit. NASCAR, MotoGP, Formula One, Indy, in any kind of series that as long as you know the start and the finish, it's all there. And so, yes, it's theater of the imagination, of course, that makes the game work. But in the top 10, we had 9 of the top 10 there. They weren't necessarily in the right order, but you wouldn't want a replay to go all the way through. And of course, to have it beat just 0.05 of a second for the win between the real-life second-place driver and Helio, you can't do any better than that. So hopefully I've given you a taste of how the game works, and if you want me to do something else to break it down, I can try to do that and do a tutorial, but it's complex, and I can't show you the charts because that's how the game is played. I read a bunch of them, but again, I don't want to give the game away. So that's my 2022 Indy 500 replay, won by Helio Castroneves as he climbs the wall for another bottle of milk and repeats as Indy 500 champion. I'm Ron Chuckett. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you the next time.